All right, everybody, this is the Chapter 2 math review for the test, which will be on Wednesday of this week. So I want to start out with questions 1 and 2 because they will be on the test. I want to review what it looks like and what to look for. This seems like a straightforward problem, but there was a lot of tricky parts to look at and to be careful with. So if we look at number 1, it is asking us, what is the cost of 3 bur oak trees? Well, we have this table, and if we're looking for 3 bur oak trees, we can clearly see that a bur oak regular price is $35. But we also see that if we buy 3 or more, we get them for the price of $32. But that's not total for 3, that is each. So that's what we have to be careful with. So they're asking us, if we buy 3 of these bur oak trees, how much is it going to cost us? So instead of us multiplying 35 down here times 3, we would be using the bargain price of $32 each times 3. So we would show our work by doing $32 times 3. Now we could do it the old-fashioned way. And we could do, that's regrouping, by the way. We call it regrouping these days. 3 times 2 is 6. Then 3 times the 3 and the 10s is 9. So that would be $96. Now, if you would like to do where you pull the number apart and you do 30 times 3, and then you do 3 times 2, and you get 90 plus 6 is $96 that way, that is fine also. So you can do it whichever way you feel comfortable doing it. And then we're going to look at the next problem. And the next problem involves 4 white pines and 5 birch. So now, once again, we're going to look for the price for the white pines and the birch trees. But since we're buying more than 3, we will get the bargain price. So 4 white pines, the white pine is up here. So we're not buying them for $40 each. We're getting the bargain price of $37 each. So we have 4 of those at $37 each. So I'm going to multiply by 4 because I'm buying 4 of those. And the birch trees, we're buying 5. And the birch trees, I go up here. They're normally $9 each. But if you buy more, 3 or more, you get the bargain price of $8 each. So we have 5 of those down here, 5 at $8 each. So we have $8 times 5. And now that is going to be, this is the white pines, this is the birch. So let's go back and do our work. We have 4 times 7, that's 28. I'm going to carry my 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 would be 14. That makes that, this is the white pines. I'm going to put WP for white pines. $148. And then this is a basic fact. 8 times 5 is $40. You should all have that memorized since 3rd grade. And those are the birch. And let's go back and reread. Remember, that is a reading skill. We do not know. I can't remember what it wanted us to do. If he buys 4 white pines and 5 birch, what is the cost of the tree? So what is the total cost is what they're asking. So if I know this price and this price, to get the total price, I have to add them together now. So I take 148 and 40, and I add that together, and I get 8 plus 0 is 8, 4 plus 4, 8, 1 plus nothing, 1, $188. That would be our total. The next problem that we're going to focus on is number 5, and that is using partial products. Now, what partial products are all about is multiplying each part of a number separately and then adding it all back together when you get all of the multiplication done. So if we look at this diagram, they've broken this number down for us. We have 3 over here on one side, then we have a 100, we have a 40, and then we have 6. So they want us to match the multiplication to the part that it refers to. So this box right here, this first rectangle, I see a 3 and a 100. So guess which one I'm going to match that up with? 3 times 100. The second box, I see a 40. Now remember, I still have my 3 out here, but I have a 40. So where do I see 3 and 40? I see 3 times 40 as that box, or rectangle, I should say. And the last section, and the last partial product, it would be a 6. So I have 3 times 6, and I connect it to that dot. And now what they want us to do on part B is to actually find the answer by breaking it down into those parts. So now remember, up here in the picture above, we broke it down into 3 times 100. We broke it down into 3 times 40. And then we broke it to 3 times 6. And now if we find all of these separate multiplications and put them back together, we should find our final answer. I know 3 times 100 is 300. I know 3 times 40 would be like 3 times 4 is 12. With a 0, that would be 120. And I know 3 times 6 is a basic fact of 18. Now you have to be sure that your numbers are lined up correctly. Ones column, then the tens column, and then the hundreds column. In order to get your answer correct, we put a plus sign, we add it up. 0, 0, and 8 is 8. 2 and 1 is 3. 3 and 1 is 4. And 438 is our final answer. The next problems want you to look at a diagram and determine what they're showing by using that diagram. So we have the top diagram showing us a bracket of a total of 32. Then we have 4s in the boxes below the 32. How many 4s do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 4s. So that's what it's asking you to do down here in the sentence. We want to know how many times is that 4 written out with that bracket. So we have 8 boxes of 4. So we have 8 times as many as 4 is, and remember, is means equals in mathematics, so equals a total of 32. So basically, 8 times 4 is 32. That's what they're asking you to know by looking at that diagram. And we're going to do the same thing with the next problem. Only instead of it using 4s and a 32, it's using 8s and a 48. So how many 8s do you see? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times as many as 8. 6 8s are 48. Your bracket number is your total. So we have 6 8s that make 48. Then down below on number 6, we have 9 times 3 equals 27. Well, that just means when you read it out loud, 9 times as many as 3 equals 27. So we were going to write it in that exact same order. 9 times as many as 3 is 27. And that is exactly how it looks. And you notice it is in the same exact order. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 3 is 27. Order is very important in these problems. If you reverse the 8 and the 6, it's really not saying that up here because we don't have 8 6s, we have 6 8s. So please be careful on those. So we are looking now at number 7. We have to determine if these are true or false. So if we have this problem here, 7 times 43. On part A, it says a reasonable estimate for that problem is 280. All right, so if the problem is 7 times 43, I'm going to go over here. I have 43. I have 7 times 43. If I want to get an estimate, I round before I do my work. I don't do my work and then round. I do my rounding first. I leave my single digit number alone. I'm only going to round my double digit number over here, the 43. And when I look at 43, I have to determine, is this going to stay a 4 or is it going to go up to a 5? If I look at the neighbor next door, if this number here is a 5 or larger, it causes the number here to go up. But since this number is less than a 5, we are going to drop the 3 and we're just going to make this an even 40. And we're going to do our work in our head because we know our basic facts from 3rd grade. And we should know that 4 times 7 is 28. And we know that when we multiply by a 10, we bring the 0 over. And that is our total of 280. So is 280 a reasonable estimate? Well, absolutely. That's what we just ended up with. That's what we just ended up with over here with our basic fact because we rounded the 43 to 40 and then multiplied by 7 and got 280. So true is the correct answer. And now we're going to go on. We're going to skip B and C and D. We're going to go down here to problem number 8. And I want you to look at this as I read it. It said it costs 9,328 points to build each apartment building in the computer game Big City Building. What would the cost be to build 5 apartment buildings? Okay, so let's reread for a second. To build one building, we need 9,328 points. But we're not building one, we're building 5 apartment buildings. So if we're building 5 of something, we could do this by using our multiplication facts, by multiplying by 5. So I am going to write this number down, 9,328 times 5. Now, could I break this apart and use partial products and do 9,000 times 5, 300 times 5, 20 times 5, and 8 times 5? Absolutely, I could. But I think in this case, regrouping the old-fashioned way might be the best and quickest way to get this done. So we have 5 times 8. That would be 40. Put the 0 down. Remember, we don't write the 4 down because we still have another column to do. Carry the 4. Then we have 5 times 2. That would be 10, but we have to add in the 4. So that makes it 14. I can't write my 1 down. I have to carry it. I have 5 times 3, which is 15, plus the 1 is 16. I cannot write the 1 down. I have to carry that. And then I do 5 times 9, 45, plus the 1, that's 46. And so I go 1, 2, 3 places over, and I know then I have a comma in front. And so that means that the total points needed to build 5 apartment buildings would be 46,640 points. And the abbreviation for points is PTS. And that's what I'm going to put. Problem number 9 is next, and it says multiply 7 times 462 using place value and expanded form. Choose the number from the box to complete the expression. So when we multiply this number, we're breaking it apart. And what we do is we take the 7. Are we multiplying the 7? Is this 4 a 4, a 40, or a 400? Well, I know my place value, and I know this is 1s, this is 10s, This is hundreds. So I know that 4 is in the hundreds place. So I'm going to choose 400. Then I see 7 times the next place value would be this 6. Is that 6 worth 660 or a 6? Well, it's in the tens, so I know it has to be 6 tens, and that would be a 60. Then I have 7 times the last digit, which is a 2, and I know that's in the ones place. And if I have 2 ones, I know it just has to be this regular, normal 2. And that's all there is to that problem. We're going to go on down. We're going to do number 11. 11 is, I can tell already by looking at this, I see several sets of numbers. I see 3 boxes of baseball cards with 50 cards in each box. I see 5 boxes with 40 basketball cards in each box. And then I see something about 50 more baseball cards. So just by looking, I know this is going to be a multi-step problem. So I'm going to use my reading skills. I'm going to go back and I'm going to read carefully, and I'm going to write down information. Every time I read a sentence, I'm probably going to write down information because there's no way I'll be able to remember every single thing I need to do by reading it through the whole time. So the first sentence says, Liam has 3 boxes of baseball cards with 50 cards in each box. Okay, so I am going to bet I have 50 cards and I have 3 boxes of 50 cards. So 3 boxes of 50 cards. Okay, 3 boxes of 50 cards. Then in the next line, it says he has 5 boxes with 40 basketball cards in each box. So now that's important. I have 40 cards, but I have 5 boxes of 40. Okay. And then I guess I need to find out how many cards I have, right? So to find out how many cards you have that are baseball cards, if I have 50 cards in each box and I have 3 boxes, how am I going to figure that out? Well, I could add it up, 50 plus 50 plus 50, or I could use my multiplication skills. And I think I can just use a basic fact mostly to get that correct answer. So I remember that I have a 0 at the back. So if I have a 0 on a number, I can write 1 0 down in my answer because I'm multiplying by 10. And then I can use my basic fact for 3 times 5. What is 3 times 5? Well, that's 15. So how many baseball cards? This is baseball cards. Now I have to do basketball. And it said he had 5 boxes, but he had 40 cards in each box. So we can use our basic facts once again. I know I'm going to multiply if I know I have 5 boxes of it. Could I add 40 up 5 times? Well, sure, I could. But we're going to do the multiplication version because it's a little quicker and a little easier. We should know our basic facts at this point. So we have our 0. I'm going to write that down in the bottom because when we multiply by 10, we know that there's going to be 1 0. And so now we do 5 times the 4 in the tens place. What is 5 times 4? Basic fact. That's 20. And 200, and this is basketball cards. So I'm going to just put B for basketball. And now I have to go back and reread because I've done the 3 boxes of 50. I did the 5 boxes of 40. And now I have to figure out what in the world is this 50 going to do to us. It says if Liam goes to the store and buys 50 more baseball cards, how many, oh, look at this, baseball and basketball cards will he have if he gets 50 more? Well, to know totally how many cards he has, I have this to begin with. I have 200. Then I had 150. And then it says he goes and buys 50 more. So if you buy 50 more, More means you're adding to what you have. So I'm going to add 50 to what I have already had. And if I add 0, 0, and 0, I get 0. 5 and 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2, 3, 4. 400 cards total should be your final answer. But you have to be careful on those. All right, on number 13, it says find 8 times 397. Show your work and explain why your strategy works best with the factors. So you can do that problem any way you want. You could break it down into 8 times 300, 8 times 90, and 8 times 7 if you want, or you could just do the regrouping strategy, whichever one you're most comfortable with. For this one, I'll do the regrouping strategy because I've been doing the, I'm going to actually do the partial products way because I've been doing the regrouping so much. So 8 times, I'm going to break it apart. The 3 is really 300. Then I'm going to do the 8 times, and it's not a 9 because it's in the tens, so it's really 90. And then I'm going to do 8 times the 7 in the ones place. And if I do each part, then I add them back up to get the final answer. So I know my basic fact. I know 8 times 3 is 24. I have 2 zeros, so I'm going to put those on the back. Then I know my basic fact of 8 times 9 is 72. And I put my 0 on the back. And then I know my basic fact of 8 times 7 is 56. And at that point, I have to add all these up. And the only way I can make sure I get it lined up correctly is by stacking it vertically. So I'm going to write 2,400 or 2,400 plus 720 plus 56 over here. And if I add those, I have a 6. 5 plus 2, 7. 7 plus 4, 11. 2 plus 1, 3. 3,176. Now, you can do it by regrouping if you want, like I said. If you prefer that, it's fine. Number 14, a clown bought 6 bags of round balloons with 24 balloons in each bag. And the clown also bought 3 bags of long balloons with 36 balloons in each bag. Well, right off the bat, when I look at this, I see 6 bags of 24 and 3 bags of 36. So I know that this is not going to be a one-step problem. This is going to be a multi-step problem. So 6 bags of 24. I could add it up 6 times, or I could just multiply 6 times to find out how many round balloons I have. So I'm going to do 24 times 6. And 6 times 4, basic fact, is 24. Carry the 2. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 2, 14. So 144, and that's the round. And then it said, I'm going to mark that out because I'm done with that part. 3 bags of long ones with 36. So 3 bags of 36. I always put my big number on top. 3 bags of 36. And I have basic fact, 3 times 6, 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 3, 9, plus the 1 is 10. And that is long balloons. Now it says on part A, I have to look really carefully here what it's asking me now. How many more round balloons than long balloons? Now, it didn't say how many altogether. It said how many more round do I have than long. So to find a difference in the amount that you have, difference means subtraction. So you're going to take 144, the larger number, put it on top, and then you're going to subtract the 108 from that. And of course, they're not going to make it easy for us. They want to see if we can remember what we learned about borrowing. We cannot take 8 from 4. It's impossible in math. We have to borrow from the tens place And we're going to borrow a 10, so we make the 4 a 3. We bring a 10 over, and this is no longer a 4, this is a 14. So if we take 14 minus 8 is 6. 3 take away nothing, 3, and 1 take away 1 is 0. So 36 more round balloons is our answer for part A. Now we're going to look at part B. And it says the clown also bought 5 bags of heart-shaped balloons with 14 balloons in each bag. Well, right there, I know I'm going to have to figure out how many heart-shaped. So it said 5 bags with 14. So I'm going to go down here. 14 times 5, I'm going to use my basic fact. 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. I have 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2 is 7. So I have 70. I'm going to draw a heart. Balloons. Okay, 70 heart balloons. And then it says, when the clown blew up all of the round, long, and heart-shaped balloons, 23 of them burst. So now, how am I going to figure out how many round, long, and heart-shaped balloons I had? Well, guess what you're going to do? You're going to add them up. So we have to put 144 plus 108 plus the 70 that we just found out that we had that were heart-shaped. 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry 1. 7 plus 4 is 11. Plus 1 is 12 again. 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. So we had a total of 322 balloons. But you have to be very careful. This is that rereading strategy again from reading class. 23 of them burst. So we're going to take our 322 and we're going to subtract the ones that broke when you blew them up. And look at that. Can we take 3 from 2? Absolutely not. We have to borrow from the 10s, make it a 1. There's only one 10, and we bring over a 10, and this 2 isn't a 2, it's now a 12. So 12 take away 3, 9. And then can we take 2 from a 1? Absolutely not. So we have to borrow again, bring it over. We now have 11. And then the 3 becomes a 2. So 11 take away 2, 9. And 2 take away nothing, 2. So 299 balloons are left. Okay. The next problem has to do with a comparison using multiplication. We are comparing 2 people and how many fish they caught. It says that Jay and Blair went fishing, so that's who we're comparing. We have Jay and we have Blair. So we're comparing these 2 people. And it says together they caught 27 fish. So we're going to make a bracket that shows together they had 27 fish. That's the total amount of fish that they caught. Now, what other information does this problem give us? We know there's Jay and Blair. We know together they caught 27 fish. But we also know that Jay caught 2 times as many fish as Blair. So Jay should have 2 boxes, and Blair is only going to have 1 because Jay caught twice as much as Blair. So now if we look at our boxes, I know I have 3 boxes total. I know that I have 27 fish total. So now, if this bracket is a total bracket, then I have to look at this as total boxes. So I have 3 total boxes. So I need to think 3 boxes of something equals 27. Now, if you know your basic facts, you know what should be in those boxes. 3 times 9 is 27. So I'm going to write a 9 in the box. And I'm going to write 9 in these boxes because I have 3 of these. 3 9s are 27. So now we have to answer the question. We have to reread. How many fish did Jay and Blair each catch? So we wrote our equation to find what goes in the box. We know that Blair just has 1 box, so he has 9 fish that he caught. Jay had 2 boxes of 9, so 2 9s are 18. So Jay caught 18 fish, Blair caught 9 fish, and that makes a total of the 27 fish that they caught together. And we're going to go on. Number 17. I believe this is the last one that we're going to review today. And it says, at the pet fair, Darlene's dog weighed 5 times as much as Leah's dog. Okay, so now we're comparing Darlene and Leah's dogs. So Darlene's weighed 5 times as much. So who's going to get the 5 boxes? Darlene's or Leah's? Well, it says Darlene's is 5 times as much, so Darlene would get the 5 boxes. So I'm going to put Darlene here, and I'm going to put Leah at the bottom. And it says, if we go back, we already figured this out. Darlene's dog weighed 5 times as much as Leah's. Together, the dogs weighed 84 pounds. So if it together, it's not talking about just Darlene. It's not talking about just Leah. It's saying together. That's what this bracket is all about, is putting them together. So that's 84 pounds. That goes out here to the side. And now it says, how much did each dog weigh? Complete the bar model, write an equation, and solve. So now look, the bracket is not referring to just Darlene or just Leah. It is referring to both of them put together as a total. So if the total is 84, we have to think of what is the total number of boxes over here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes total of something is 84. So 6 times what is 84? Do you know what you would put in the boxes? 6 times what is 84? $14, guys. 14. So we have 14 in each box. Six times 14 is 84. So how much does each dog weigh? Well, Leah's is the easiest to figure out. She only has 1 box, so her dog weighs 14 pounds. But Darlene's is a little bit harder. We would have to figure out 14 5 times. So what is 14 times 5? Well, we use our basic fact. 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 2 is 7. Her dog would weigh 70 pounds. And if we double check ourselves, we could add to see if they add up to 84. 70 plus 14 sure does. It adds up to 84. I can see it in my head. So, and that is what the math test looks like. I will tell you, it is not an easy test. It is a lot of thinking. There's a lot of thinking required. There's a lot of multi-step problems. And you're going to have to really take your time. And you're going to have to know your basic multiplication facts. If you don't, it's going to be very hard to do well on this test. Good luck.